Secretary of State Antony Blinken will finally be making a much-discussed high-stakes visit to Beijing. Remember, he postponed the trip back in February after that Chinese spy balloon was spotted flying across the United States. State Department officials say the goal of this two-day trip is to establish communication channels, which have been frayed in recent weeks, including after China rejected a meeting with the Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, as well as discussions about regional and global security issues. All of this comes amid deepening tensions between the U.S. and China, including provocative military encounters in the air and at sea in Asia, and new confirmation from the White House that China and Cuba have reached an agreement to put an electronic eavesdropping facility in Cuba, and that China has been spying on the United States from a base from Cuba for years. So joining me now is Michael Allen. He's a former senior director at the National Security Council in the Bush administration. He's also a former Majority Staff Director for the House Intelligence Committee. Michael, it's good to see you.
Thank you.
So this Cuba-China connection, I know you've know this particular part of this really well. I want to start with the Cuba policy. If Trump doesn't get rid of the Cuba policy that Obama established during his years, where a bit of a rapprochement to Cuba, does China establish this base in Cuba?
I still think they do. I think the Chinese wanted to be able to populate the Western Hemisphere, if you will, with intelligence platforms. That's, of course, something we've done all over Asia. So I saw it as spy versus spy, part of the normal product of a bilateral relationship. And so I think they would have gone forward regardless.
There's a part of me that wonders what can they actually do from Cuba in the eavesdropping space that's effective? I mean, it's not like we're not aware of that, and it's not like Cuba's not been an intelligence concern to our hemisphere for decades.
Well, I think it's the same reason why when you go to embassies around the globe and even here in Washington, you see antenna and satellite dishes all over the place. And that's because there are cellular communications here in the atmosphere, if you will, that are suitable for collection. And not only that, I think many of our military bases put off a signature, if you will, something about heat sources or the electronics that are being emitted that they can use and analyze to deduce what we're doing on a variety of different military bases around the globe. So I think it's helpful in the end, not only for the United States and our platforms around the world, but certainly China wants the same thing.
I'm curious, would it be worth trying to get China off of Cuba? Or is this sort of, you accept this is, as you put it, spy versus spy. We've got our own agenda that we're trying to stand up for a rules-based order in Asia. And at the end of the day, it is not worth us changing our Cuba policy over this.
I think if I'm the Biden administration, I probably have some strong words for the Cubans and try and warn them away from it. But I don't know that I would put it as one of the greatest efforts that they should undertake here as they try to move forward with their Cuba policy. And that's because it is spy versus spy. This is something that we would do and that we have done on allied territory all over the globe. We don't love it that the Chinese are in our backyard, but I think it is something that becomes now part of a rigorous counterintelligence program by the United States to make sure we're taking defensive measures against the Chinese.
Well, what kind of worries do we have in the rest of South America and Central America? I mean, I know that we know that some of those countries have been flirting with the Chinese.
Yeah, very much so. One, I think, is the Chinese that want to set up bases, military bases on the Atlantic Ocean, not only in Africa, but I think they're also looking for a port in the Western Hemisphere.
In the Caribbean?
They've obviously got relations with Venezuela as well. So there's a variety of different countries, if you will, Chuck, that are sort of trending in the direction of the Chinese. The Chinese have a very aggressive aid and assistance packages that they give to a variety of countries. And I think that's one of the inducements the Chinese want to offer so that over time they may want to have a military base there. You remember they tried to do this in the UAE, and we went in heavy to the UAE and said, no way, no how can you do this? Expect us to do the same thing on a military base, but it's a little bit different, I think, for an intelligence platform.
All right, let's go to the Blinken trip. what's a realistic deliverable to speak the language you used to speak in the NSC world?
Yeah, I think they're going to come out of this just happy that we're talking again and that Xi Jinping will be on track to come to San Francisco for the APEC summit. I think the administration began this year hoping to have more normal relations with the Chinese. You remember they use this term guardrails all the time. They don't want the relationship to go off into the ditch. And so I think they were worried after the balloon, which kind of interfered with relations between us and the Chinese for many months. Yeah. I think they just want to make sure that the relationship is not in a free fall. The question, though, is will the Chinese try to improve relations with us? You just showed the footage of what they're doing very dangerously in the South China Sea and in the air over the South China Sea. So there's a lot to be tense about.
Well, it's interesting to me, then maybe it's in that context I want to ask you about a comment Janet Yellen made yesterday. She went out of her way to say we're not trying to decouple from China. I assume that was for an audience in Beijing as much as it was for an audience anywhere else. But don't tell Congress that. They've been passing laws to do just that, which is decouple. What is our policy, economic policy, in terms of China?
Well, look, I mean, the administration says it's to de-risk, not to decouple. I think they did that to get on the same page as the Europeans, which, by the way, I think was wise because over time we need to be more aligned with the Europeans as we deal with China. But you're onto something else, and that is I don't think a lot of people in town can adequately describe just what is the China policy. Sometimes Secretary Blinken says it's invest, align, and compete, but other times it looks confrontational. And honestly, for the last few weeks, it looks like a pro-engagement strategy. And all the while, I think Senator Kerry, Secretary Kerry, is over there trying to cut deals on climate change. Right. So it's a little bit confusing to confront someone while at the same time trying to cooperate with them.
Well, and if you talk about China in a domestic political area, just bashing them is good politics, which, of course, I think complicates perhaps what the policymakers want to engage in as well. Michael Allen, good to have your expertise on the show. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.